Welcome back. Daybreak time is 7:42. Drug and alcohol addiction continues to rise throughout the country. Researchers find a lot of the addictions start when people experiment at a young age. That's why this month the National Institute on Drug Abuse is hosting an online chat day specifically for teenagers. Joining us this morning to talk about that and addiction is local addiction expert Mark Crandall. Good morning, Mark.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Tell us first and foremost about what it is you do.
So I'm a drug and alcohol counselor, and I'm also a licensed social worker, and I perform interventions and do a lot of recovery coaching and a lot of empowerment work with people that are suffering from substance abuse issues.
What inspired you to get involved in that?
My own road to recovery and coming out of it, and just how hard it was for me, and I really wanted to help others navigate their path.
Talk to us a little bit about, your story. How did things start with you, and what really got you off of and out of that addiction?
My story's kind of loaded because I was placed in foster care at the age of 3, and so I was in and out of institutions, and then started dabbling with drug addiction around the age of 11. And my road to recovery started at age 23.
Wow. So for parents out there, because we know that drug and alcohol addiction impacts all types of family, all types of people. It doesn't discriminate, right? So what are some warning signs for parents to be on the lookout for?
It's most common for defiance, like defiant behavior. It'll be, what you really see in youth is that they push back against their parents and the rules, and then they start to, outcast themselves and kind of isolate, and then it escalates from there.
What do you recommend parents do when they start to notice that type of behavior?
There's professionals out there, so maybe try to encourage the youth to find somebody to talk to, Boys and Girls Club, or some kind of advocacy group where they offer mentorship to give them somebody to relate to, because oftentimes children are not going to want to share everything that's going on with them with their family.
And so when you perform these types of interventions, what happens in those interventions? What can someone who's maybe thinking about this do to prepare themselves for that experience?
Well, it's not typically like you see on the show intervention. A lot of work goes in behind the scenes, and it's, oftentimes the person suffering from substance abuse disorders wants help. They just don't want to be told that they need help. So if you can coax them and kind of sell them with a vision, or show them a vision of hope, then they're going to jump on board, and it's going to become their idea rather than something that's forced.
And so when we talk about and we think about relapsing, how often does that happen, and what can someone do to help their loved one?
It's unfortunately, it is common. Relapse is common. So, what you can do is just continue to support them on their journey, but also don't enable or feed the negative behaviors that led to the relapse.
Yeah, very good advice. Thank you so much, Mark, for joining us this morning. And for more information on Mark's counseling services, you can just head on over to KVU.com and scroll down to the news links section on the page. Jenny?